Hello my Funatics, it is Fufu here and welcome to the final week of my GBA Season 6. That's because I haven't made playoffs, we knew that for a while now, but this second half of my season has been pretty okay. So I'm hoping to go out in style. I'm sorry if you can hear like loads of background noise, by the way. I've just moved into my swanky pad for a couple of weeks before my accommodation is ready for the new place that I'm working, which is all going very well. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it's really good, and I've had a really good first week, and this is just going to be more of the same, hopefully. And I've been really super busy, so that's why this is coming up a little bit later. Me and Chimp are on completely different time zones and time and just general like sleep schedules and everything, so it's always the hardest one for us to arrange to battle. So anyway, it's coming now, and final week of my GBA Season 6 season. Second half definitely going better than the first half, and I really would like to win this one. It would close out my season at 5-7, which is actually really respectable, especially considering the level of competition this time. I would be so thrilled if I could do that, but the likelihood is not so high. It's my final attempt at a salty run back against one of my group members. I lost to all three of them the first time round. Lost to Miguel again. I beat Fizz. And so I'm battling Chimp again, and I'm hoping to get my salty run back here, but he did 6-0 me the first time, so the chances are not amazing. But I will go into the team to show you what I'm bringing, to see what I can do. I'll show you Chimp's team as well. So yeah, I'm going up against Chimp and the Philadelphia Scizors. They've had an amazing season. He's definitely in the playoffs, so well done, Chimp. But yeah, last time he 6-0'd me, he brought something that I completely didn't prep for at all because I didn't see that potential on his team. He basically just brought a team that completely walled my team. He had switch-ins on everything. It wasn't stall as such. He just had answers to everything. I prepped for a very hyper offense kind of team because he has so many offense options. He's got Scully, Torn, Mega Diancie, and Raincore, and so many like offensive threats that I tried to prep for them, and it just bit me in the ass because he brought this incredible team and played amazingly with it, and I just had no chance and no opportunity, so he dominated me, and it was quite upsetting. But anyway, this time he's not got his Blastoise anymore, which was his only form of hazard removal, and another phaser for him. So that kind of a team was much more viable. Now he's not got that. He's got a Magneton instead, and also an Aerodactyl where he had something else. I can't remember what he had last time. But yeah, that means that I think his team is even more geared towards hyper offense this time. But I'm definitely going to try to prep better for the potential walls that might come. So anyway, my team that I'm bringing Klefki again, slightly different in that it doesn't have screens and it's got the Shed Shell. Last time I had screens to help a Dragonite sweep, and I didn't need a Shed Shell because he didn't have Magneton, but I do need it this time. He might not bring Magnet Pull Magneton, but I want this guy to be around. It's a good switch in on Torn. It can also help out with a number of other things, and the T-Wave is great for hyper offense if it does come. And also, as I say, he doesn't have a spinner anymore, so I think spikes are going to be far more crucial this time as well, whereas last time, definitely not as crucial. So yeah, I'm bringing in Klefki. His only way of preventing me from getting up hazards really is Magic Bounce Diancie, and I've got a Klefki with Stab Flash Cannons, so that's going to be a risk for him if he wants to try and prevent me from getting up spikes that way. So basically, that's my Klefki, especially defensive, to better take on Torn, I guess, and also maybe switching on a very scary Kingdra because I'm immune to Dragon-type hits, and if he does end up going for the Water-type hit, I might be able to take it. So that's the Klefki. The next thing I'm bringing is a very similar Soggy Doggy to Suicune. I really wanted to bring specially defensive because if he does bring offense. It's more heavily stacked on the special side now. But just because of the fact that he has Scully and it is a massive threat, I thought that it would be silly of me not to bring defensive Suicune, because I need a better answer for the Scolipede. So yeah, it's defensive Suicune. I went for Raw with Rest Talk this time and Scold. It's just because I like the calm mindset with Shadow Ball last time, though it was really good and it could have put in so much work. He had phasers that just stopped that, and also the Torn kind of forced out my Suicune, so I couldn't set up till late game. So I thought that if I'm going to try for hazards, Raw is much more useful. It helps against walls and it also helps against offense, so I thought that this set would be better. Scold isn't particularly powerful against a lot of his mons, but getting the burns could be useful, and I just thought that it was the best set to bring. And then my next Pokemon is going to be Mew, also specially defensive. It's a very similar set again as to what I brought last time. It's because, and I feel comfortable doing this because, as I say, I prepped for the wrong team last time, but I think that team is much more likely to come this time, even though he knows that I prepped for that. I don't know. I just think that I'm quite comfortable bringing similar stuff. It's changed, it's slightly different, but I think that, and I'm also prepping for other options that he might bring. But I think that this team is kind of the best hedging team I could go with. Anyway, yeah, Spadef Mew, the same set as last time, apart from Psychic over Iron Head. Iron Head didn't really work out last time. Psychic does a bit more damage to stuff like Steelix and also Chestnut. And he's got like a Magneton now, so Psychic could do a bit more damage to that, I guess. And Scully doesn't have a free switch in, whereas it did last time. So preventing Scully from switching in on Mew is probably a good thing. Not much more to say about this set, really. So that is my Mew. And again, the next Pokemon, Breaking Bad, is a Crobat, very similar to last time again. But I think it is a good set, especially for offense, because I outspeed pretty much everything apart from a +1 Scully, and threaten most of the things that I might want to try to revenge. Charsey Berry's there because Scully can only really hit me with Rock Slide, so I'll be able to live that. And also, Diancie can only really hit me with Diamond Storm unless it brings Psychic, which I can take. And so then I went with Brave Bird because it does damage to most things. Steel Wing is there to help me with the Diancie. Super Fang will help a bit more with Magneton and Steelix if they want to switch in. I don't have Defog, as I say, I'm relying on my hazards a bit more this time, and so that would be a little bit counterproductive, even though I have 3 things weak to rock, so that could be a bit of a mistake, but we'll see how we go. And I have to go max speed now because he has an Aerodactyl, so I would at least want to speed tie with that to get a Steel Wing off. I actually haven't done the calculation for that, but I'm guessing 2 rock switch-ins and maybe Steel Wing KOs. That would be a nice idea to have. Whether it's the truth, I don't know, but we'll go with it. And then my next Pokemon is going to be a very similar Kyurem to last time. Again, this is exactly the same. I wanted to change some things, potentially have an Ice Beam on there to help a bit more with Chestnut and to help a bit more with the Bird, which was easily able to switch in last time, Tornadus. But Toxic is actually far too valuable, just because, again, Politoed may well be coming this time. I really am expecting the rain. I really expected the rain last time and it didn't come, but I am really expecting the rain this time again. If it doesn't come, that might be a bit bad, but I need the Toxic for that Politoed because I don't have a good way to deal with it, and getting a Toxic on it will be really, really crucial. The other 2 things hit pretty much everything on his team. I think it hits everything on his team. The only things that resist the Dragon-type move are weak to the Earth power, so yeah. And I went with Roost. I could have gone with Ice Beam there, but I thought Roost might be a bit more valuable. It could be completely wrong. And Habonberry is going to be useful this time because Kingdra's going to come and it's going to try to take out my Kyurem with a Dragon move, and I'm not going to let it because I've got a Habonberry, which he didn't see last time, unless he watched my videos, which he may well have done, but I don't know. So yeah, Cold Turkey, please pull through. And then the final thing is going to be a Beast, the Dragonite, who's actually been putting in a lot of work towards the end of the season. I've really enjoyed using this. Last time I used a Choice Banded Dragonite was against Fizz in early doors, and it didn't do very well. It got paralyzed though, so you can't blame it too much. But yeah, I felt like a Banded set was better than a DD set this time. It means that I don't have to like have screens and defog on my other stuff to support it, so that means that they probably can do their role better, and also it means that I have more immediate power and more wall breaking power, so that helps in two regards. I can break walls a lot easier, and this coverage is pretty much all I need. As I say, things that resist dragon type moves are weak to earth type moves, so I've got both of those. But also, so it breaks walls better, but it also is good for anti-offense because of its priority. So extreme speed is really good at picking off stuff like Scully, like Kingdra in the rain. Not that Kingdra out of the rain would be any easier to pick off anyway, but you know what I mean. And then I've got Aqua Jet because it was like the last move. I didn't really need any other moves to break walls. Outrage is very powerful and does the stuff anyway, and then Earthquake will deal with anything that might want to switch in on it. E-Speed is picking off certain stuff. Aqua Jet basically just picks off the other stuff that E-Speed doesn't. So Diancie and Aerodactyl is there now as well. So Aqua Jet can deal with them a bit better. So I thought that was just a more valuable last move. There were a number of things I could have gone for, but Aqua Jet just seemed like the right one to do. So that is the team. Concerns I have, it's Chimp. So that's the concern in itself. He's like a proper veteran, and he plays at a high level, so he really knows what he's doing. I've watched his videos for the longest time. I pretty much grew up as a Pokemon player on his videos. I got into competitive that way, so yeah, just the fact that Scizors was scary. Basically, his offense is very good and could overpower me. He's got ways to break my walls. I've potentially not got ways to break some of his walls, but I think I have tried to like tread the line of being able to break walls but also being able to deal with offense. So I feel like this is probably the best team that I could bring, and probably the team that I should have brought last time. But anyways, yeah, that's the thing. The stuff that I don't really want to see, lead Aero, lead Scully, just will be annoying. They'll be able to get up hazards, we'll be able to do a bit of damage before they go down, and he'll be able to get a lot of momentum that way. Stuff that I do want to see is basically offense, rain. I want to see rain because I prepped for it and I want to see if I can deal with it. So yeah, let's get into the battle to see what happened. So it's happening on Showdown. I'm sorry, as I say, I'm in this apartment place, and DS doesn't connect to the internet, so that's not ideal. So we're doing it on Showdown, and it just suited us both because we just don't have much of a window to battle, so it was quite hard to be able to do this, so this was just a quick alternative. Looking at the teams, he's got the rain. Hallelujah. That's what I prepped for. He also doesn't have Scully, which is really nice to see because that could have been a bugger to deal with. Looking at what could be an issue, Magneton actually does do a lot of damage to my team. I had considered bringing Eel because it resists Magneton's stuff, but I felt like just because it was slow and he has many other offensive options, it wasn't worth bringing, and especially because Magneton could just Volt Switch out anyway. Like it's not really going to be doing enough. But it does mean that now I actually am going to struggle to deal with it because I have nothing that even resists electric, let alone is immune to it. So Magneton could be a big thorn in my side. And also Politoed, as I've said, can be really hard to take out. And Chestnut just worries me because he has run a Belly Drum Chestnut and completely destroyed with it. And I didn't want to be that guy. But I did know beforehand that a max speed Crobat outspeeds a +1 Chestnut after its Salak Berry. So I know that that is probably not going to be an issue for me. So yeah, I was just going to lead out with Crobat, I think. Did I lead Crobat? I think I led Crobat. Let's see, I can't remember. I think I led Crobat just because I wanted to Steel Wing a thing, and Brave Bird other things potentially. It wasn't a very good lead. I don't know why I led with Crobat. I should have led with something else. Maybe Mew. Mew deals with pretty much anything on his team quite well, but anyway, he led with Tornadus, And I want to switch out of there. I know that Brave Bird doesn't do enough damage and he'll be able to regenerate anyway. So I'm going to go into my Clef Key because it can take hits from this thing, apart from like a Specs Heat Wave, but I don't think that that'll be coming turn 1. It could have been. That would have been a really great play. But I could have maybe taken it because I am Spadef. Anyway, he just U-turns into Magneton, but I'm not trapped because I have the Shed Shell. So I'm going to go into my Mew, which is able to eat a Discharge, but that is so much, and I'm thinking that it's probably Analytic right now. So it wasn't trapped anyway. And yeah, I didn't really want to get parried either. That would have been a sad time. Does mean that I can get my rocks up straight away, which is very useful. It will help me to deal with Tornadus. And just get some chip damage on some of his threats, which is really good. I'm just going to move my microphone because it's really near my whirring computer. So, yeah, Tornadus comes in. I know that that thing can probably have knockoff. It's seen U-turn. I'm just going to roost because I know I'm a bulky Mew. I can easily take that. And knockoff won't be doing any damage anymore. So I just want to roost again and be at good health because this is actually my Diancie switching. So it needs to be able to do that. Yeah, so Tornadus isn't doing anything here, and I'm going to go for a knockoff right now, because if he wants to stay in spamming stuff, I will just knock off your Assault Vest, because that's what it's most likely going to be. As Magneton comes in, and Magneton turns out to be the Magnet, which I didn't expect, but that's fine with me. So knockoff did good damage, and then Psychic did good damage too, and I get the Spadef drop as well, which means that I probably kill next turn. Which is fantastic. I'm going to roost this turn because, as I say, Mew is doing quite a lot of work at the moment, and I want it to be around to do even more work. That would be very, very nice. Diancie comes in. This is my thing that I kind of want to deal with Diancie, or at least get some damage on so that Crobats can kill it very easily, or basically anything can kill it very easily. So I'm just going to go for a couple of Psychics. Does end up getting Rocks up, and I'm going to go for another Psychic here. As he gets a Moonblast crit, which don't think mattered. Did that matter? 40? Yeah, might mattered. It doesn't matter. Mew puts the Diancie in range of rocks, so that means that I can I'm guaranteed to revenge this right now, so that's good. I'm going to go into my Bat to go for a Brave Bird. Potentially not the best thing, though his Magneton has actually lost. It doesn't have a Violite, and it would take slight rocks damage. I don't think 2 Brave Birds would have killed it, but I would have done some damage, and it wasn't a safe switching, basically. So anyway, Tornadus is going to come in here, as I'm going to go into my keys. I know that my keys is good switching, and the Icy Wind comes out, which is not what I was expecting. It means that I get a free Spike, though, which is very good. Spike definitely helps against this team because it's getting damage on the Magneton and the Chestnut, so that's pretty fantastic. As he decides to U-turn, which I thought was a bit weird, because he actually U-turns into his Magneton, and I could have T-Waved there, so a hard switch into Magneton. And it means that the Magneton takes Spike's damage, so hard switching would have been better there. Goes for the Discharge, and it doesn't do much because I'm Spadef, and my Dazzling Gleam actually takes it out. Klefki hits quite hard. I expect it not to do any damage, but it can actually do damage. So that's nice to see. That was an offensive Magneton, though it had no bulk investment whatsoever. So Dat Boy's in, taking a bit of damage with the hazards, which is nice. As I'm going to go straight into my Suicune and eat a Scald and not get burned, because Suicune is the better Scald user. It's just the best Scald user. So Dat Boy is sitting in here, taking a bit of lefty use. And it goes to the Encore, as I'm actually going to be slower than it, and I'm just going to Roar, which is fine with me. That means that I'm going to get some more hazard damage on that Politoed when it comes in, and on whatever wants to come in right now. So I'm just going to... I just seen the "oh, what up." I didn't see that in the match. That's quite funny. I'm going to Roar here to get a bit more damage on all the things, which is ideal, as Chestnut comes in. And I'm going to Roar again because I'm a defensive Suicune that can take any one hit, I would have thought. Unless it's like Banded Woodhammer, definitely can't take that. Well, I'm not sure about definitely. Probably can't take that. I'm just going to Roar. I don't need... It's a defensive Suicune. I actually don't need it for anything. And in fact, if I can get just a bit more damage on everything... my Dragonite's looking really, really nice right now. E-Speed, I think already Kingdra's in range of E-Speed. And I need a little bit of damage on Torn, but it's a regenerator anyway, so I need a lot of damage on Torn. I switch into my Kyurem here, thinking he's probably just going to go for a Scald. As he sets up the rain, didn't really see that coming. He's not Drizzle, which is weird. That's why I have to Raw it. I can't Scald it because he's not Drizzle. He's a Water Absorb. I'm not sure if that was on purpose. Probably was. It deals with Suicune quite well. And I can Toxic the Politoed, which is great. That's what I needed to do, basically. That's the reason why I switched in Kyurem. So I'm going to go for some Dragon Pulses, which do an alright amount of damage. My Cold Turkey is not going to be a switch in, or it's not going to be able to take a Dragon-type move from the Kingdra anymore. It's too low, even though it's got the Habon Berry. But that's alright because it's in range of E-Speed. Not like 100% in range of E-Speed, but it can die to E-Speed. It has a very good chance of dying to E-Speed, unless it's got some HP, which it may well do. I'm just going to go for some Dragon Pulses here. The Tornadus just flinches me, which is a little bit sad. I would have liked to have got a bit more damage on this, because if I can get some more damage on this, it's going to be in E-Speed range. But I'm just going to go for another Dragon Pulse, and I get flinched again, which is not fun. Slightly not confused, but I thought this would be a bit more Hurricane-y, seeing as though he does have a way to get a rain, but S-Slash worked out pretty well there, so yeah. That Tornadus is still too high. It makes me a bit sad. Gonna go into my bat here because I want to kill this Chestnut, and bat is probably the best way of doing that. We do see the Cobra Berry, which wasn't necessarily. I thought that might be a thing. Apparently Leech Seed was the best thing that he could do to me right there, and he misses it, which is pretty good for me, because Bat wouldn't have died that turn. He could have switched out, I suppose. Maybe he had Spiky Shield, then it would have died. But yeah, it means that I get damage on the Tornadus, and that's really good because E-Speed just kind of cleans up unless I get a low roll on Kingdra. If I get a low roll, like a super low roll on Kingdra, then I might be in a little bit of trouble. Suicune, I think, could take a hit, and hazards and stuff would be a thing as well, so we'll see. I go for an E-Speed here, and Tornadus goes down, and Politoed is coming in, and it's really, really low, and I am banded, so this is going to take it out, even if it's max defense. So that boy goes down, and then Kingdra comes in, and I don't have a guaranteed KO here, but I think it's probably about 70 or 80%, probably 80%ish to KO. And I do get it, so that's really nice. And I finish the season with one of my best wins of the season against a team that 6-0'd me. So I'm really happy. I got a 5-7 record. Like, after the first 5 weeks, if you told me that I would get a 5-second record, I would have kissed you. Yeah, so I'm really, really, really happy with that performance. I'm sure that Chimp kind of just threw a team together because I was talking to him like a couple of hours before, and he said that he hadn't built his team yet. So I'm sure that he didn't need to either because his place was already guaranteed in playoffs. So it was just kind of the last match. So, but I'm gonna take that win. I'm definitely gonna take that win because it was quite good. It was quite a good win. I felt quite in control of the match, and it's a very, very good way to end my season. So really, really happy. GBA Season 6 was not terrible in the end, and we definitely, I would say we definitely had the toughest group because it was just stacked. Like, we were all on form. I wasn't on form. The others were on form, at least for part of the season. Yeah, but that was really great, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Like, this GBA season is so hype. Everyone is bringing it. Like, Steve, oh my lord. I definitely have been impressed by Steve this season. He has played his little cotton socks off. Like, it was just amazing to watch him. So yeah, I hope you guys have had a fun season. I've really, really enjoyed myself, and I can't wait for more. Speaking of more, prepare your assholes for PPL Season 4. I think we're on. PPL Season 4. I came second last time. I'm gunning for that crown. and it's coming soon. It's starting really, really soon at a cinema near you. So book your seats. It's gonna be great. And after this, I'm even more motivated. I'm getting my form back. I'm so motivated to just destroy faces. So get hyped for that. Thanks to my opponent this week, Chimp. Check out the links in the description below. All that's left to be said is I've been Fufu, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.